Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. We just start 5 minutes late, but I think we have more than time to answer all your questions. And also, as I said, feel free just to stop me on the way and ask if you have a specific questions on the content that we are going to share with you. Basically, we have prepared an info session that it will have like 2 different parts. Basically, an introduction and a more informative session about the Barcelona Institute of Science and Technology, and also about the master. Robert Sewell, here with me, is also the co-director of the BIST master, and he will also explain you more about the program and about the results of this program. I will then also give you more information about the admission process and as well as the fellowships that are available. And as I said, then at the end, we will have plenty of time for answer all your questions or concerns or anything that you want to know from us. Okay, this is me. I'm Miriam Navarro. I'm the education program manager here at BIST, and I'm also the coordinator of one of the coordinators of the BIST master. I'm going to be the person in contact with you through the whole admission process, and as well when you will be here at the BIST master. Basically, and because I'm not sure if everybody is aware of what is the Barcelona Institute of Science and Technology, I can just give you a brief explanation. This is a scientific foundation of 7 Catalonian research centers of excellence. All of them are really good of their own disciplines. And the main objective of this foundation is to build new scientific collaboration among these centers, basically giving an impulse of the multidisciplinary projects to push the frontiers of knowledge. As I said, all the different centers that you can also see them on your right here are an excellent centers on the different disciplines. And you will see later on the different websites and also the, sorry, because I'm gonna be just a little bit. And basically I encourage you to visit them and also see the projects and the research groups that are at the different centers. Okay, then. The BIST community is a big community, is around 2,500 people. 40% is international. It's a really quite good number on international researchers here and also in Catalonia, and are pretty good gender balance. Like 46% of the researchers are women. Most of them are postdoctoral and PhD students, and there are around 200 principal investigators. The quality of the research that is done at the different research centers is pretty good. We have around 69 ICREA research professors. That is a distinction of high quality here in Catalonia. Around 1,000 peer-reviewed publications and more or less 150 ERC grants. But I think what is always better, basically, is to see also what the Barcelona Institute of Science and Technology, and more concrete, the different centers that are on this foundation will give you. And here, this is just a short video of the different, basically the different goals that those researchers have as well. Just let me know if you can hear it well. And
what if we could improve people's everyday lives? The lives of couples, the elderly, children, and people who hope to become parents. What if we could create inexhaustible energy sources and invent new materials to save the planet? What if we could restore the vision of those who have lost it? Prevent diseases in addition to curing them. What if light could destroy tumors and scientists could create organs? What would happen if we tried? Once, twice, or as many times as necessary, because if no one tries. What if we unite the talents of 7 excellent research centers and go where no one else dares? And if 2,300 people work together to achieve it? Men and women, experts in biology, astrophysics, engineering, chemistry, teachers of science and technology, leading researchers. What if we try?
Okay, basically, this is, I would say, a really inspirational video, but it's just a taste of what the different research centers are trying to do, also in collaboration between them and also in their own research. Basically, the strategic areas of BIST are advancing these three different goals, let's say. And the first one is advancing the frontiers of knowledge. And as you see, basically, it's trying to engage the collaboration between the different disciplines to push further, no, and to answer more complex questions that need not just one of the disciplines to be involved. Also, we want to train researchers in a more transversal way, and also to be them also to have the capacity of answer these complex problems, positioning themselves as active subjects in acquiring new knowledge. And in somehow this is what we were saying, trying to make this collaborative work and the multidisciplinarity one of the main points. And the BIST Master is an example of this. And we want also to be impermeable with society, and what it means is basically to be able to transfer the science that we do at the different research centers to be able to get at society and involve the researchers on this scientific education of our society, basically. And then afterwards, I will show you just some examples of it. Here are the three strategic research initiatives that BIST is involved, and the different 7 research centers, they have a really power involvement on the different topics. We want to do research on health, in aging, precision medicine, and as well in infectious diseases, also in sustainability. We have different collaborations between the different centers on clean energy, pollution, and health environments, and also in quantum physics. Like you can see, this is a really hot topic, and we have one of the research centers here at ICFO. It's really a leading European center on those quantum technologies as well. And as I said, we want to get this science, and we want to be able to society to understand the science that we do at the labs. And for that, we have different initiatives and different programs. And one that it's basically we are really involved in those days because it's really close, and is the Scientificus, that basically involve 500 women researchers that they are gonna go to 500 schools, primary and secondary schools here in Catalonia, and on February 11th, that is the Day of Women and Girl on Science. And basically they will explain the research, and they will try to engage also the young people to be involved in science as well. And also on this direction, the master also is, and in that case, Rob Sewell will explain you later more in detail, but we also have different opportunities to be involved in public engagement activities within the master, and you will have the opportunity to see it as well. No? On 2019, we created the BIST Tolosa Graduate Center. It's a postgraduate center affiliated to the Pompeu Fabra. And basically, this institution was created to train researchers to work through all these different disciplines. And the master and the BIST Master is basically the main program on this center right now. For the ones that you don't know, the Pompeu Fabra University is one of the first Spanish universities as well, and it's quite young, but they have a really, really good results as well. And this, the name, the Tolosa Graduate center, it came to honor the name of the first woman to receive a medical degree here in Spain. Okay, now I think it's time also to the director to explain you more about the program, and I think you will enjoy it as well.
Thanks very much, Miriam. Do you need to give me control so that I can pass the slides?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, it looks like I can now. Let's see. Yes, I can. So allow me to tell you a little bit about this master program in more detail, now that you've got the context a little bit of what BIST is and the environment in which we're working. It's a slightly unusual master in the Spanish context and potentially in sort of the broader context of master's degrees that there are out there. And one of the reasons is that the students entering into this master are doing research projects across all of the research centers in this BIST center. So that means that we have people who are interested in studying and continuing a research career potentially in fields as diverse as high energy physics and genomics and photonics and chemistry and medical biology and nanotechnology. And so all of these students are mixed in together in the program. And this dictates very much the type of program that we designed for this and the type of training that we give to people. This is very much a hands-on research-based training program. The idea is that we want to prepare students to become, if they're interested, PhD students and then scientists of the future. And that we can best do that by getting the students into the lab and training them through projects in a hands-on way. And then the second element to that is that in a modern research environment, there are various different skills that you need to develop as a researcher beyond the lab skills that you gain in a hands-on way, which include things like being able to talk to colleagues in different disciplines. So the multidisciplinary element of the training is very strong. Being able to present your work, both to other scientists and to the general public, as well as being able to plan and prepare your time and do sort of project planning around your work to be able to do your work in an efficient way. So there's a lot of emphasis on those sorts of professional skills needed for a research career, as well as engagement with other scientists. And we have a fantastic program of talks and seminars and the like, and conferences where students have a chance to interact very directly with top quality scientists, not only from these 7 research centers, but also from invited scientists from abroad. So these give a flavor to the program, which is very different from a typical master's program where most of the learning is through classes in the university, and then that's augmented by a little bit of practical training in the labs. This program is very much the other way around, and you're thrown into the deep end a little bit in interacting with people from all of these different disciplines. Now I'm trying to change the slide and I can't. Let's see this. Okay. There's a strong team of people who are involved in helping to make the program work. These include researchers and scientists from all of the different BIST institutes. These constitute the faculty team. They're involved in making sure that the program or designing the program, making sure that it works in all the different centers, and in many cases in teaching or organizing the training in various different classes here. They also have a point of contact at each of the different research centers for students who go in and do their projects, so that they have someone that they can turn to for advice and help. And then there's a whole host of administrative support around that across all the different centers to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So you get a sense here at a glance of the different range of fields of students coming into the program, from the sort of the biosciences, very broadly speaking, crossing physics, material sciences and chemistry. So it's very broad in terms of the disciplinary backgrounds of students entering into the program. We're fairly balanced in terms of gender, which we're quite proud of. And we make a very big effort to bring in international students into this program. And so it's quite balanced in terms of the mix between local students and international students in the program, which also gives it an unusual flavor for master programs within Spain. Concretely, the program is laid out like this. So there are most of the ECTS, most of the credits involved in the program through research projects that are undertaken at the different research centers, and also writing up and defending a master's thesis. So this constitutes 40 out of the 60 credits in the program. And then on top of that, we have the several different elements of the type that I was telling you before. So we have a course on responsible research and science communication, which is there to teach the professional skills I was commenting on. We have a series of seminars and colloquia with international speakers, where students have to do work to present and lead these seminars with the international speakers, and therefore have a very direct engagement with them. And a winter school, which covers topics related to both optical microscopy and electrical microscopy, scanning probe microscopy. So microscopy understood in this very broadest sense, which is kind of a cross-cutting technology for research in many of the different fields in the program and in the BIST institutes. And this is augmented by a symposium with invited international speakers, where the students get a chance to present their own research. The only sort of classic classroom-based course that we have within the program is on statistics and data analysis, because this is another cross-cutting skill that all scientists need to have. And this includes getting people up to speed with programming for statistics and data analysis, as well as relevant techniques for their different fields. The key elements for the research part of the program is that students undertake 2 projects, a major project and a minor project. And ideally, they do these at 2 different centers. So they get an opportunity to work not only with a different group, but in many cases with a group in an entirely different research field, and see how those 2 different fields work differently, and have a chance to interact with 2 different groups along the way. And this is really very much focused on training students to enter into a PhD program. In some sense, we think of this as a year 0 of a PhD program. So students coming out of this, on the one hand, have a very good and very clear idea of whether this is for them, whether they want to continue pursuing a research career. And on the other hand, they're very well prepared so that they can move directly into a PhD program without many of those sort of teething problems that come with adjusting to a research environment for the first time, since you've already gone through that in the master program. The participating institutes are the institutes of the BIST institute itself, so the 7 institutes that you see listed here, and our partner, the University Pompeu Fabra, particularly the Department of Medicine and Life Sciences within the Pompeu Fabra, who we've collaborated with from the very start in setting up and then in running this program. And so students can take projects for their master thesis from any of these institutes, but they also have the opportunity to do their minor thesis not only in one of the other institutes, but also outside of this consortium of research institutes and universities. There's the possibility to take your minor project with collaborators at any other institute that you might be interested to do so, as long as there's some sort of coherence to the project. I'm trying to move forward. There we go. And with that, I'm going to hand the word back to Miriam. Miriam, you can regain control and you can tell us a little bit about the whole process of applying and being admitted into the program.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, basically, I wanted just to explain you just a little more in detail which are the steps for applying to the program. And step 1, it could be just to make sure that you have all the documents that are necessary for applying into the program. And you have the list here, but you also have all the information on the website. Basically, you need to have a degree or diploma in a relevant field. If you haven't finished your bachelor studies yet, don't worry. You just need to be done and have the complete number of credits necessary of your bachelor degree by September, when the program starts. You will need also your academic transcripts with an accredited official training that also needs to state the average grade of the university of origin. Your CV in English as well, a letter of motivation also in English, 2 referee contacts that they will need also to fill out a form and send you a letter as a reference, and a brief statement of your research interest. Basically, it will go together with your 5 first choices on the research projects that are available. Right now, there are more than 60 research projects. You can see also on the different disciplines, and you can then also go online and check the different groups and the different projects that are available as well. And then the last part that it's just you will need just a copy of your passport or your ID. And as I said, I encourage you to visit the different research projects that are available, since right now we have all of them available on the first call. And I think also that it's important also that you make your choices based on your interests as well. And as I said, this is the first step. Check their admission requirements and make sure that you have all the documents needed. And then you will need to upload these documents on an online platform that is called Slideroom. You can also go through the website on the bottom, apply now, and you will go directly to this platform. The application fee is 32 euros. And right now we have the call open until March 2. This is the first call. As I said, we encourage you to apply for the first call, because now you have more options to get a fellowship, and also you will have more research projects to choose. The resolution is expected to be on April, and once you get your final decision, basically if you've been accepted or not, you will know as well if you will have a fellowship, and then you make your final decision of admission based on all the criteria. No? After you get admitted into the program, you will have 10 days to pay the reservation fee, that is 600 euros. And then the enrollment tuition fee, you will need it to pay it on July. Let me just, maybe I can just change it here. Okay. And yeah, then here are also the fees for this year. For European students is 3,500 euros, and for non-European students is 600 euros. 6,000, sorry, 6,000 euros. There are 10 tuition waivers available right now. One for each of the students that are top ranked in each one of the different centers. It means the 7 BIST centers and UPF. And then we have also 2 fellowships that are only exclusively for the top ranked international students, non-European. And then also the centers, they might offer also living allowance depending on their own criteria and internal policies. And this is something that you will need also to check once you are into the program. The selection process is based on the criteria that you can see here on my right. Basically, the 40% is your academic records, that it means your CV and your academic transcripts. Then 20% is the adequacy of the candidate to the profile. That is the statement of research and the cover letter. And then if you have research experience before, it's also a plus, and the 20% rest is for your reference letter as well. Then when you are admitted and you join the BIST program, we will always start with a really nice ceremony that we do at La Pedrera here in Barcelona. We call it the annual ceremony, and normally it's in mid-September. It's a joint ceremony with the students that are finishing their studies and they are graduating, and then the students that they will start the program. And normally we start the next day classes. That it needs to be confirmed, but basically the most probably they could be on September 13th for this year. And now, Rob, also, if you can just share with us just some of the results, I will give you also the control.
Thank you. So yeah, just to give you a sense of what people have done through the master and then coming out of the master. So you can see here photos of the first 6 editions of the master program, from our pioneer group to the group that's currently enrolled in the master program. And you can see that after the master, they've gone on to do interesting things, not only here in Barcelona, but all over the world. Most of them have gone on to apply for PhD positions, over 80%, which is not surprising in the sense that this is what the program is explicitly designed to do. But it also indicates that it's not the necessary outcome from this program. People do go through this and then decide that actually they enjoyed the program, but a research career is not what they want to do. And they still manage to go off and do interesting things elsewhere after the program, even if it's not continuing into a PhD. Most of the placements overall are still related to research in some way, shape, or form, however. And then you can see the breakdown of the PhD positions that people have got coming out of the program. There's a large fraction who stay within Spain and basically stay within the community of the BIST institutes or apply to the Universidad Pompeu Fabra. But there's also a significant fraction who move on to a PhD internationally, and they've gone to some fantastic places. You can see here a little bit of a snapshot of the universities where people have gone on to do PhDs outside of the really strong programs that we offer here in Barcelona. So these include in Switzerland, places like ETH and EPFL, fantastic institutes in Austria, Max Planck societies in Germany, top universities like Eindhoven or Utrecht in the Netherlands, in the United Kingdom, Manchester Imperial College, so some of the top universities there, back in France, or including some of the top universities in the United States, such as Harvard Medical School or Stanford University, or Columbia University in New York. So I think that there's strong evidence, not only that students coming out of this program thrive, but they actually do very well, and they're very competitive for PhD fellowships internationally, as well as here within Spain. Should I play this video, Miriam?
This is more about some of the testimonials of the alumni. It's really short, but I mean,
let's play it because it's nice to hear people's experience in their own words.
If you're thinking of pursuing a PhD in the future, I think this master gives you the right preparation for that in terms of practical experience, transferable skills.
It gives you the opportunity to be in 2 different groups in order.
Oops.
Oh.
No.
I think this gives you the right preparation for that in terms of practical experience, transferable skills.
It gives you the opportunity to be in 2 different groups in order to do your major project and a minor project. So it's a good opportunity to know 2 different institutions and 2 different groups.
It is a very complete program. Depending on your topic of interest, you can focus on different subgenres of science. And I think it's very valuable because you have the training period, you have a winter school to check other methodologies.
I wasn't very sure to pursue or not the PhD career after, and doing this master let me think and focus also on aspects of the research I hadn't the possibility to do before.
The time is very short. In a very short amount of time, you have to squeeze in a lot of things, and this is helping me manage my time, learning me how to organize better.
I'm pretty sure that this master will boost my career, my opportunities, and also my confidence. And I'm already experiencing that right now. My professional profile is being shaped in a way, And also I'm being able to understand what specific interests I have in research.
I'm extremely happy that I joined this program, and I'm now becoming more into research, and I'm learning more techniques, more into literature, and I feel better.
In my research project, I'm really happy with the lab. I'm really happy with the work I'm doing, so I feel very motivated right now.
I'm very happy with my decision. And every day I feel that I'm in the place that I wanted to be. And I have met wonderful people in the master, and also I have a great lab team in which I felt welcome from the very first moment. And besides learning about science, I'm also learning a lot about myself, which is also a very enriching experience.
Learning.
Challenging and colorful.
Experience.
Accepting.
International.
Multidisciplinarity.
Hopefully that gives you a flavor of the program as well from the point of view of the students themselves, and maybe one day you can be included in such a video in the future as one of our students and graduates. And so with that, we'll hand over to questions and answers from the floor. I've seen that there's a few already coming through in the chat. I've answered a couple of them. I'll pick up Jana's question here as well, and then we can just answer questions through the chat, or in fact, by raising your hand and asking a question directly. Maybe, Miriam, we could stop sharing the screen and come back to the... And Yama was asking here in the chat whether the fellowships are for each call or in general, and the answer is that the fellowships are in general, not per call. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Miriam, but we will already assign some of those fellowships in the first call.
Yeah.
So that means that you should definitely, if you're interested in the program, you should definitely apply in the first call, because all of the fellowships will be on offer then, and then some will be assigned, and there will almost certainly be some still available in later calls. But you have more opportunity the earlier you apply.
Yeah, they were. Philip also was asking.
Yeah, so Philip was asking about the grade point average. Is it the grade point average of students at the university as a whole, or your own grade point average? Here, we want your grade point average so we can evaluate your performance as a student. It's very useful context to give us also the grade point average as a reference of that's expected of students as a whole at the university, or at least the normal statistical range of grades that you would get. What percentage of students get an A and a B and a C, because depending on the university system, that can vary a little bit. And so if you're coming from a university that we're not as familiar with, that's very useful context. But what we're asking for the application is actually your grade point average. And then Axel asked, is this an official master? And the answer is yes, it's an official master. It's accredited by the Catalan and Spanish accreditation agencies and leads to an official degree. It's 60 ECTS that will be on your record, usable anywhere in Europe.
Yeah, also Yaima was asking about the 10 fellowships that are in general, is in total for the whole program, let's say. It's not for just this course. And
Roger, is it necessary to submit a video? It's not necessary. It's helpful to do this, but you can apply without the video if you are unable for some reason to make it. Please put your hand up or just open up your microphone and your video and ask us questions directly if you have them.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes, excellent.
So I want to ask you about these research programs, because my background is in nutrition. I don't have skills on basic research. I have never touched a microscope, to be honest. And I was very interested about your program because you're showing in the program, it says that you're in October, we have the major research project. Then in February, we have advanced techniques and experimental science. So I was thinking about this, like how the program is structured, because I was thinking about how can I join a research group without having skills for actually doing stuff. I will probably bother.
Yeah, no, it's a fair enough question.
Yeah.
In terms of the structure of the program and the timeline, we get everybody together very intensively at the start for about 6 weeks to do some of the classwork, the classroom-based work. So that's the statistics, some of the seminars, some of the responsible research science communication courses. We do this intensively at the start. But the aim is to get students into the lab as quickly as we can. So it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. It helps to make the group a cohesive group as well. And then after that, students start their major research project, which is already organized during the application process. And from there on, they do their research projects, but we get everyone back together periodically, at least once a month, for these seminars and the transferable skills training. And then we have this intensive winter school, the advanced techniques course that you're talking about, which takes place typically over the course of about a week and a bit. The exact schedule varies a little bit from year to year, depends on the scheduling of other people, but that is done intensively. So it's a break from the research, you come and do that, and then you go back to your research. In terms of entering into the lab, so it's understood that in many cases, this is supposed to be your first experience, real experience in a laboratory environment. It's certainly valued and useful to have already had some experience through projects during your undergraduate degree, but it's not an absolute requirement. So the idea here is that you will gain the necessary research and laboratory skills in the lab. So if you're coming from a background which is not a standard, physics or chemistry, but you're interested in a research project and you think that you have the motivation and some of the necessary background and skills for that, then it is possible to enter into the program. And part of that is a conversation between yourself and the person or persons who run the projects that you're interested in, to figure out if you could fit and you would have the necessary background to be able to usefully enter into their lab and start learning with them.
May I ask something else?
Yes.
Thank you for your answer. I saw the research centers. My question is related to whether you do also apply research, or is it only basic research?
There's a mixture of that spans fundamental to applied research in all of these centers. So there is a lot of fundamental research, and the basic core strength is in fundamental research, in basic research, but a lot of that moves into applied research. And many of the centers have strong programs for example, working with clinical partners. So they're doing applied research in a clinical context, or working to develop intellectual property, to incubate spin-off companies, to work with industry partners who are interested in collaborating on research topics. And so they do move into the applied side of things. So there is a range within each center of projects on offer that are more fundamental and more applied, as well as ones that sort of move, maybe not so much at the master's stage, but during the course, for example, of a PhD, might move from something that is very fundamental at the start and moves into a more applied direction. So it's very much a question of looking at the different projects and offer across the different institutes and seeing if there's something that fits your interest.
Thank you.
Thanks, Axel. We have a question
Hello,
from Mohammed as well.
I also have a question.
Go for it, Adria.
Yeah, is it only possible to do the research project in the labs that is listed on the webpage and you explain, or can you also do the research in a different lab, but also from the same institute of the research groups in the BIST?
Yes, so it is possible to do a project in a different lab within the same institutes. It has to be through one of the BIST institutes or the UPF, Department of Experimental Health Sciences of the UPF. But if you have a researcher in mind, a research group in mind, and you would like to work with them and you contact them, it's possible to say in your application, I've been in contact with such and such a person, and I'm interested in doing work with them that's not already on the list. And we'll accept that as an application, and then go through the same process of checking with the supervisors if there's a matching there between the students and the projects on offer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And also, how does the master thesis actually works? I mean, do you have to just like put results into common and defend the thesis itself, or you have to do actually more research, or it's just like using the results you've done through your research before?
Yeah, so the subject that we call master's thesis in this is really about writing and defending the thesis itself. So the research is done in the two research subjects, and you can write your thesis typically on the main project that you've done, but it can include also results from the minor project. And the focus there is really on developing the skills needed to write a scientific paper and present this as to a committee and defend it. So the thesis subject itself is a continuation of the research projects we've already done. It's not a new research project.
Okay, perfect, great. And just the last question, how many students each year can enter? How many places does the master has?
Miriam, what are we aiming at this year?
Yeah, we have 30 spots, but it's true that we go through a really let's say a selection process that is also hard in terms of our quality, and we are getting around 25, 23 students each year, more or less. We are not really getting the full class, but yeah, those are the number of students.
Okay, great. Thank you both.
Also, and this is for everybody, if you are really interested, we can also put you in contact with students from the other editions, and then they can also explain you if you have more questions or something that you will prefer to discuss with them, not just with us, let's say. And this is also an option if you really want to just contact me as well. I will put also the email here on the chat. Also, I see here, Muhammad, you are asking. I mean, there are like each one of the different grades on the GPA, they will need to be converted to the Spanish scale, and in that case it will give you a number that is equivalent to the Spanish grading as well. You can apply, but I mean this you will go through the whole process as well. It's just that I cannot be sure now what like the what number it's equivalent as well.
May I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, first of all, how are you?
Good, thank you so much.
Yeah, like I have checked all the requirements, but I couldn't find what about English language requirements? Is there some kind of English test like IELTS, TOEFL, or TOEIC? Is it necessary to take these exams? Are there any kinds of requirements of English language?
I mean, we encourage you to have at least a B2 level on, but it's mandatory. I mean, all the classes and all the work is done in English. You need to feel comfortable to talk and also to write on that language. And it's not just that we encourage you also to have the certificate. It's not mandatory. You can be on the program without it, but you just need to be comfortable to follow everything on English as well.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
So
sure.
Mohammed, that's we don't assess that directly through a certificate. We assess that through your applications, and if necessary, we might have a follow-up conversation. Either you might have a conversation with the potential supervisor that you're interested in working with, or with one of us to go through that if we have any doubts.
Yeah, thank you. I have another question. May I ask?
Please.
Yeah. First of all, is it necessary for us to connect to the group that that we are interested in? Is it necessary to connect, message them or connect to them before applying? Like, is it necessary to get an acceptance letter from that group?
You do not need to have an acceptance letter. It's not necessary to have been in contact beforehand. It does not hurt to have been in contact, because we will ask the supervisors of the research projects that you indicate your interest in to have a look at your application and decide whether they would be prepared to accept you into their group. And so if you've reached out to them and you've had a conversation with them, or at least you've expressed your interest in their group, that will help them to make that decision. They may in fact also get in touch with yourselves as potential students during that phase of the application process. So it doesn't hurt, but I would also say, if you reach out to one of the group leaders, don't feel badly if you don't get a reply from them at this stage. They typically are busy, and they may well be waiting for the application process to reach the stage where Miriam reaches out to them and puts them in contact with and passes them information about students of interest. So it doesn't hurt to do it. It may be a useful thing, but don't expect it automatically you'll get into a direct conversation there in all cases.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Miriam, there's a question in there from Adria in the chat that's maybe best for you to take.
No, the fee is not reimbursable for the application.
Good. Miriam, I need to go in a couple of minutes because I've got another meeting coming up. So maybe we can take one or two last questions, and then people can obviously send through questions via the relevant channels that are available up on the website of the program to ask you questions to follow up.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Please.
Yeah. I did my bachelor's in microbiology. I think it's a well fit. My background is a well fit to the group. Is it?
Yeah. So microbiology will fit with several centers and research projects on offer.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mohammed. Good.
Okay.
So maybe, Miriam, we should bring it to a close there.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here today. I mean, I hope that you know more about what is the program and all the different fellowships and opportunities that we have available. Feel free to reach out to me. I will just now add also the email here on the chat. If you think that you might have other questions or something that you want to discuss further, just feel free to connect. And yes, and I hope to see you soon as well. And thank you, Rob, for your time and for being here.
No problem at all. Thank you for the organization, Miriam, and thank you to everyone for joining. We're very glad that you have interest in the program, and we look forward to seeing your applications. And do reach out if you have further questions. Thank you all.